Johan, قتيلو خلخا مور خطانا رابا أنا نقيتا جودها أوتخ شابرتا. I'm very blessed to be presenting a wonderful young man from Sweden, Mr. Joseph Shaba. He will be giving you some information, more details about Assyrian Without Borders. By Madian قد يوخن قد أنا قامو بشليخ delegate ينخا representative to Assyrian Without Borders. من سبب لتلا هيج political جناتها. I do believe myself as being Assyrian, born Assyrian, and will die Assyrian. And رابط لي شهارة قد بدنا نجمع خاماته from the president, Dr. Rabel Melke, and all these wonderful, kind members to the Assyrian Without Borders. I'm not going to be talking much about it because you will be seeing some beautiful presentation. قد يقرأ Joseph Shaba Muyo لقديا من Sweden. He's a firm believer of Assyrian Without Borders. And definitely one day he will be a delegate as well as many others such as yourselves in this room. I'm very honored, very blessed with the grace of God, and by the grace of God, I'm standing here to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Joseph Shaba.
Thank you very much. First thing I want to say is that it's a pleasure and an honor for me to be given the opportunity to stand here and to speak to you. Joseph Shaba. I'm 28 years old, born and raised in a town in northern Iraq called Ankara, but now I live in Sweden. So you're going to have to excuse my English, it's a little rusty. I'm here today speaking to you because I'm troubled, knowing what my Christian people are going through in our homeland. All I see in my head is the persecution of my people, innocent families living their ordinary lives, going to church, doing their daily work, and all of a sudden a bomb explodes and causes devastating consequences. I ask myself, why? Then I think about what Jesus said in Matthew 10:22. He said, "And you will be hated by everyone because of my name. But the one who endures to the end will be saved." And then he says in Matthew 5:10, Jesus gave us hope and says, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for the righteousness, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to them." Despite all the persecution, killing, and bombing, our Christian people still have the courage to go to the church and worship God. In the midst of hell, they have hope because of their faith. In Joshua 1:9, God says, "Have I not commanded you to be strong and courageous? Do not be terrified. Do not be discouraged." Called Ankara in northern Iraq. It was an ordinary morning in the early 1990s. I was 8 years old. My family and I were having breakfast when all of a sudden a war broke out. My dad grabbed my young brother, who was only 6 months old at that time. The whole family ran to the car and left everything behind as it was and drove away from Ankara. On our way, I saw children who had lost their parents. Dead people lying down all over. People fleeing away for their lives. Screaming and crying. I had never been so scared, and I still have never been as scared as I was in that time. After several days of being on the road, not knowing if we were going to make it, we stopped at a place where we couldn't drive anymore. Hundreds of families were gathered there. All we knew was that we had to leave Iraq and reach the Turkish border in order to receive help from the Turkish government. We were hundreds of families with kids. Some had babies walking. We were walking through mountains, forests, for a whole day, not knowing if we were going to the right way or, if we were gonna reach the Turkish border. Finally, when we had arrived to the border, the Turkish army stopped us from passing by. As I said before, We were hundreds of families there, starving, tired, and afraid, not knowing where else to go and what else to do. We were there at the border for 5 days with very little food and water when they finally decided to let us in the country. We were moved from camp to camp during 6 months, living in the forest and tents in the middle of nowhere. People were dying from starvation and diseases. In the middle of nowhere, people were in the middle of the night, we had insects and snakes crawling on us. Some people went back home to Iraq thinking that it would be better off for them to die back home in the war, than in the middle of nowhere, in the forest, in a foreign country. In the end, when we had reached Istanbul, the capital of Turkey, there we had the chance to apply for a visa in the Swedish embassy in order to come to Sweden and live a peaceful life. I remember the fear, I still remember the fear and the pain as if it was yesterday. Still I have a hard time sleeping and have nightmares from time to time. 2010 and the beginning of 2011 were devastating years for our people. I read the news about how our Christian men, women, and children were targeted and brutally murdered in churches and in their homes. I felt so sad and hopeless, not knowing how to help them. When I heard about the Assyrian Convention, I thought to myself that this is the chance for me to take the first step to do something for my people, to touch people's hearts and to inspire them to take action to change the fate of our people. To get in contact with people who are dedicated, passionate about helping Assyrians. People who have the courage to do something extraordinary and defy all the negativity. My dad always used to say to me, "Son, take the first step and God will be with you and give you a push into the right direction." So, next thing I did was to contact an organization called Assyrians Without Borders, which I had read and heard so many good things about. I got a hold of Rubel Melki, which is chairman of Assyrians Without Borders, and told him about my trip to convention, and that I wanted to talk about the organization. He arranged a meeting with Danielle Barsoum, the vice president of Assyrians Without Borders. She filled me in with information about the organization. Assyrians Without Borders is an ideal organization and was founded by young Assyrian people who are born and raised in Sweden, who had visited our homeland and saw the condition that our Christian people are in. These heartbreaking visions inspired them to take action and create something amazing to help and stand by the Christian people in our homeland. They have helped our people by donating money and scholarships to young students, provided children in Iraq with school buses, building and installing water tanks, providing our people with electric generators for small villages that our people live in. And the list goes on and on. The organization has been granted a 90 account from the Swedish government. The 90 account is a warrant for you as a donor that the money goes to the cause. What inspired me about the organization, among other things, was that they don't separate Assyrians, Syriacs, or Chaldeans from each other, but they see us all as one. Thank you. Hopefully in the future I'll be joining the organization and participate in their effort to help our people in our homeland, and that the organization can be an inspiration for our young Assyrians to take the first step into helping our people for a better and a safer future. Many Assyrians have the desire to help and support our nation, but just a few take their time to make an effort. Many young Assyrians don't even know what our people are going through back home or who we are. It's up to us to reach out to them, to tell them, educate them, and let them know that we need each and every individual on our side to fight to prevent the eradication of our Assyrian Christians. We have to be an inspiration to them and show them that no matter what, we will never give up. we will manifest and let our voices be heard. I have a dream, and that is that for us Assyrians, Syriacs, and Chaldeans to unite and to put our differences aside and focus on what's important instead of arguing over who comes from who, and work together under one common definition as Christians. The question is, how can we help our people in our homeland if we can't help each other? As it says in the Bible in Romans 12:4, for just as in one body we have many members, and not all the members serve the same function, so we who are many are one body in Christ. So let us all be members in one body and function together. Let's make our people back home proud and give them hope, knowing that we haven't forgotten them, that we're putting our heart and soul for them to give them a chance to live a safe and happy life. As it says in the Bible in Romans 8:28, when God is for you, who can be against you?
Amen.
Thank you for listening. We have a website, that you can go in and visit and see what it's all about. It's both in Swedish and in English. So,
Facebook fan page.
yeah, also a Facebook fan page. So, do you have any questions?
Kameli machshechta, put me the donut, konana machshechina, put me the amdiolitle. And then taklena wishati, put me the half of program.
And he said, then maybe more people would show.
Yeah.
So that's a good idea.
Hopefully next time it's gonna be more.
Joseph,
That's
they
okay.
were struggling to get people in to watch that half hour. And it wasn't a long of a time, but nobody wanted to put an effort to do it. So I recommend to show that at the party, since everybody's attending the party, but not what's happening with our people. So it would be good to announce and to do the speech during the party.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah.
We'll try, but, we're so limited. So,
Just like, a couple
it
minutes.
took us about 2 hours to.
that you want people in North America and TNLF convention to participate.
Yeah.
Maybe you can share, how people can be involved and what activities are involved in it.
How they can be involved?
The people that are interested. Obviously, they put in.
How can we lend a helping hand? In what way?
Well, you can join the existing organizations, for instance. If they're not serious, make them serious. Be passionate about your people, dedicated, and don't let anything stop you. One thing about me is, without God, I wouldn't be standing here. So, have that as a foundation.
Joe, just with anybody outside of North America or Europe, so is there any way we can help, like fiscally? Is there like a fund set up? Can we donate?
absolutely.
Yeah, so is there something like that?
Website,
We have our fan page,
Okay.
Assyrians Without Borders.
Okay.
It's in English. It's a very,
Yeah, that's-
simplified way of everyone that can be able to participate. We're very fortunate, and we need young people because it's based on young people. And non-political, definitely. So they would help anyone. Like he had mentioned, we can help people from every church, every ethnic group. We are not, as long as they're Assyrians and whatever they believe, and we have not, and what they've participated in contributing a lot. Then that's why I personally had joined them.
Yeah. It's more like how we can help them, like because there's not much we can do hands-on from so far out, but if there's anything we can
So
do.
we're definitely expanding and definitely looking for young people as yourselves. And definitely we are very interested. I mean, like this person, this man, gentleman, he's been so inspired by their work. And I was so inspired. In the first minute that they introduced themselves, I was so in it. And just by speaking about it worldwide, when I travel, it's a blessing. I wouldn't, it's just amazing what they do.
I think it
We're
is.
relying on people like yourself, politics, we leave it for the politicians.
Yes.
But this is something, it's hand in hand.
Well, if it's anything we're good at spreading news, we should spread this.
Yes,
As a Christian, yeah.
they,
As a
you know,
Christian.
I feel if we remind the youth that that we're here for the Assyrian Convention, to see all our friends, families, you know, from all around the world. We should remind them that without helping our people, this convention will not continue for long. You know, sadly to say, we need to stick together and remind ourselves that without the help, we won't have the fun that we want to have, and the love and everything. We need to stick together.
Thank you very much for having this energy from within. We have great projects, and we're looking for, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be standing, I
No,
love
it's
this
okay.
man and his courage. But really, convention has, since 30 years I've been performing. But the sad part is convention has taken a different path, an ugly path. I'm not disrespecting many people who are so clean cut, but we need to generate money for the people who are so much in need. Like he had mentioned, so many great projects that they've induced, the Assyrians Without Borders had induced in north of Iraq. Many villages had no electricities, and it's very hard to live without electricity for even an hour. So they've generated so many ideas and so many funds, and so we can do this a little by little. The Assyrian Convention can carry the dances, the singing, the seeing your old friend from 20 years from childhood. It's perfectly fine, but there's so many things that people are so ashamed of even attending it annually, even to see your good old neighbor from Atras, because what happens?
With the public about what's happening to our people and who our people are. But I think the awareness needs to start from within our community first, considering this was such an important speech, and we don't have, like, we have a very small amount of people here, and it's not anyone's fault, but our most of the people should be here for things like this. So I think creating awareness within our own community, within our own space, just here in the convention, there's so many avenues that we can take to get people more involved in organisations such as Assyrians Without Borders, in order for that help to be generated. But I think they're doing a wonderful job. I'd love to see the organisation expand to places all the way down to Australia, where we're from. Is it purely based in Sweden, or are there plans
For
to
now.
sort of?
They want to expand, and
We should get into that, start a branch out there.
Yeah, well, we'd love to.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
well,
it's got
the
the
title
Islam
is
now.
Assyrians Without Borders, so
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what it is.
so they want to expand to all over the world, help Assyrians and join Assyrians all over the world.
You know,
Yeah.
Right.
the other thing that I think would always help, pictures, videos, if they put them on site, I haven't checked your website yet, but
The website
Anything
is
like that?
under construction, it's growing, and so.
okay.
Something. I just met you yesterday, but I wanted to encourage you guys, young people, that don't be discouraged with small amount. If one person can stand, another one would stand, and another would stand.
Very
If we all
nervous.
sit down, nobody's
Very
gonna be
nervous
standing.
person.
No, but that's what it takes. It takes one person at a time.
Yeah.
Don't worry about if the rest of the young people are at the pool. If you're standing here, if one of you is standing, you're gonna continue to stand. But if you guys all give up and say, "Oh, nobody's doing anything," you're somebody. So I hope that you guys do take that in heart. Whatever he said, it doesn't have to be just this organization. I know there's been a lot of mistrust. I know there's been a lot of wars in between our people that is causing. There's somebody that told me that he hasn't been to church for 7 years. He's tired of it. So it's not about that. If you trust God and believe in God, you have to trust that He has a plan for us as Assyrians. And I don't care who says what, God loves us. And that's what you want to keep in mind. And be courage and go forward. It doesn't matter if you're 1 or 2 or 10 or 10,000.
And the thing is, you have to defy fear, and even if you're nervous, just don't think about it. You know that when you're fighting for your people, you're fighting for innocent people, you're doing a wonderful job, and you shouldn't let anybody stop you. Because imagine if you were in their place and you needed help and there was nobody there to help you. How would you feel, So we should never lose hope. We should always be there for our people and build up our people. Who knows, maybe in the future we can help other people. Never give up hope, and always, always have God's word as a foundation for you. Otherwise, it'll never work. Trust me.
Joey, I really have.
Yeah, go on ahead.
Go ahead, you go. I just really have to commend you because I know how many obstacles you've gone through and how passionate you've been to just be where you are and standing here and just having this session with us. So I really am really inspired by you. You came by yourself with this mission, this one-man mission. You came to the States and you said, I'm going to give this presentation come what may, no matter what came. And you targeted it down and you chased the right people and you did not give up, and you are here and you are a great inspiration. Just thank you for your umtan, for your people. It means a lot, and you've inspired me today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And God bless you too.
Thank you. God bless you.
I just wanted to make a comment. I wanted to thank you for being here, number one. And secondly, I'm actually a member of the Assyrian Aid Society of America. And I know that they've had a few projects where they've worked with Assyrians Without Borders. And I just wanted to see what future plans with Assyrian Aid were, and if you have any insight on that.
I'm not a member yet with the organization, Assyrians Without Borders. Hopefully soon, I'll be joining them. And hopefully that we'll be cooperating with other Assyrian associations and organizations. That's our, I guess that's what their plan is. So, they're very passionate. The chairman, the members, and everybody. So hopefully, they'll be working together with other Assyrian organizations.
How are you generating your income to help out the people?
Well, people donate money to the organization.
The second question is, why nonprofit organization?
Well, I don't know much about the organization. I'm not a member yet. Hopefully in the future, like I said before. So I don't know. I can't answer that question.
But it's a legal thing that they have to go. It's a procedure in Sweden.
Okay.
They have to be a non-profit organization.
For what?
They have to be a non-profit organization.
Oh, in Sweden.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, would like to know that what's the population of Assyrian in Sweden?
Wow, it's a lot.
I don't know.
Approximately?
We're a lot. We're many, but I don't know the population.
It's a lot.
Few thousand?
The second largest Assyrian population.
Second largest?
Second largest Assyrian population.
It's more than that. At least in
Almost 100,000.
No. I think I want to mention that I belong to Assyrian Foundation of Berkeley. Most of people around this area, they know all about it. We do donate for the needy Assyrian. I'm not quite sure that your organization isn't, needs a different requirement, but I could give you the address and the email that you people could contact us, and most probably, because we do donate around the world for Assyrian. Right.
We'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
And also, I do, most probably, maybe Ninvi Maraha, she's a dog. She's from Sweden.
Yes.
She runs our magazine. Okay? So I could give you your email so you could
Absolutely.
contact.
That would be great. Thank you very much.
What's you said it's like a 90K, like we have like 501c3s here for nonprofits. What's that 90K? What's the significance?
90 account?
Yeah, is that what it was?
They only granted to serious organizations.
Like how hard is it to get?
It's not that easy. I don't know really, but
You know the credentials of having to get it?
no, I don't know. I haven't been through that very thoroughly.
I'm sure the website will probably have some info on it.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, yes. Yeah, yeah.
Borders.gov.
Do you have any more questions?
So, you're the first one out of Sweden to come to US.
No, not to come to US. To come to the convention now. I think I'm the only one from Sweden here.
You probably are.
Yeah, I came by myself, mainly for this, and also to get to know our Assyrian people here, and to inspire them, and to get them to work for our people, to help our people. Yes.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say this, another thing, I'm talking too much probably.
No.
But I'm really excited about what's happening right now. Just this whole conversation. First of all, the fact that you're not a member of the organization makes it 10 times better. For now. Because I think that your intentions are truly pure. And the awareness that you're bringing to people. The second thing is that you made me cry because the story that you told about your family, I heard that from my grandmother. I'm 50 years old, and my grandmother used to tell me this about her life as a child. So for this to be happening to our people, we really need to be changing. We need to be there for them.
We will.
So I'm glad you're here.
What we need is strong leaders with strong personalities that never loses hope, no matter what. I mean, I will stand by my people if it means that I'm gonna do it by myself, because I know that I'm fighting for something, that doesn't have a value. Like, I mean, it's our people. I can't give up on them. No way. And like I said before, if I've been in their situation, and I wanted, I wanted people to help me and my family. So now when I'm safe and I have the opportunity to help, I will do it, and nothing's gonna stop me.
Yeah.